Namaste. I'd like to share a sequence with you that I love to do in the morning to wake up my body, get the chi flowing, and to feel more alive in my body. So take a moment to place your feet straight under your hips. Place your hands on the lower belly, called the hara, and take a moment to close your eyes. And as you allow your feet to ground, see if you can allow your belly to soften underneath your hands. And just take a couple of nice deep breaths. As you settle into the center of your body, the hara, the seed of your awareness, center of your wisdom. As you open your eyes, let your arms rest by your sides and bring your right foot behind you, curling the toes under, letting your thigh bone hang loose from the hip, and begin to circle your ankle. It's nice rhythmic rotations for your ankle joint. If you feel wobbly, you're welcome to hold on to the wall and reverse, going in the opposite direction. This may feel awkward at first if you've never done this before, but if you do this every day, your ankles will loosen up quite quickly. And then pause and step your foot back and take a moment to notice any difference between your right and your left foot. Then bring your left foot behind you and circle your ankle. I've heard that the Chinese say that you won't die from a heart attack when your ankles are loose. I guess it stimulates the circulation in your legs as such that it's very healthy for your cardiovascular system. And then reverse the circles. And pause and step your foot back and take a moment to notice both feet firmly rooted on the ground. And then begin to make small circles with your nose and your chin as if you're drawing a circle in the space in front of you. Nice and easy without dropping the head back. Let your jaw be nice and loose. Maybe leave your mouth open a little bit. And reverse. And pause, notice, and roll your shoulders forward. Nice and loose. Your arms are just hanging like dead weight, so the movement comes really from the shoulder joint. It's in the shoulders that a lot of chi can get stuck, so it's nice to loosen them up in the morning. And then reverse. And pause for a moment. Notice again. And then interlace your fingers. Bring your wrists together, and if you can, also elbows together. And then begin to make figure eights with your wrists, with your hands. There are 8 little joints in each wrist. And so have your wrists and your forearms together so that you keep your wrists somewhat supported. And then the tricky part, go in reverse. Notice if you're still breathing. And as you pause and release your arms, take a moment to notice how your upper body feels. If you feel a little looser, more awake there. And take your feet slightly wider than your hips. Imagine that you're stuck in sand from the waist down, so your hips and your legs, especially your knees, stay still. And then begin to make small twists just with your upper body. So allowing the thoracic spine to get some movement. You can look over your shoulder. Let your arms just flap loosely around you. This movement is not necessarily intended to twist the entire spine, more to soften the tissues around the heart, the pericardium. So perhaps you are aware of a softening in your chest center here. I often feel like at this point in this sequence there is a sigh or a yawn that wants to come out. And organically let your movements slow down. And as you keep your legs and your spine straight, begin to circle your pelvis, as if you're drawing a circle on the floor with your tailbone. The intention here is to get the movement in the hip joint rather than in your lower back. So keep your spine straight. And see if you can let the crown of your head reach up. And you may even feel how the top of your spine, the cervical spine, moves around the base of your skull. And reverse. And then pause. Step your feet together. Bend your knees. Let your hands rest on your thighs rather than on the knees. So really in the center of your upper leg here. And then rotate your knees together, around. You're digging back into your ankle joint again as well. And reverse. And as you pause, straighten your legs, take your feet back under your hips. And the last movement is an undulation of the spine. I'll show you from the side. Have a slight bend in your knees, and you begin with your tailbone moving back. That's the start of each movement. And the tailbone moves forward, and the rest of your spine and your head follow that ripple effect. So you may imagine that you're flushing water through an empty garden hose, Or you could imagine or visualize how you're coaxing chi through your spinal cord here. So nice and loose. The more you let your body do it, the less you think about it, the easier it will be. And as you come to stillness, take a moment to place your hands on the hara again and close your eyes. Notice the effects of this sequence called Dasha Chalana. Maybe you feel some tingling sensations in your body. Maybe you feel your heartbeat going a little faster. Maybe you feel more awake. If this is all the time you can take in the morning, this is a great start for your day. If you have more time, you can follow along with some more movements here. So rub your hands together really fast, making them nice and energized, nice and warm. And then imagine that you're washing your face with the enhanced chi in your hands and your head. Rub the back of your head, your neck, your collar, your chest. Rub your belly, your lower back. It's already nice and warm on my back as the sun is on it. And stroke down your arm with the other hand and the inner arm. And then other arm, stroke nice and firm. Inner arm, outer arm. You may, with very loose hands, tap your chest a little bit. And go down to your belly and tap your hips and your buttocks. And then stroke down your leg. Again, nice and firm. Moving all the chi down the other leg. And a nice 3 claps under each foot. And then take a moment again to stand with your feet under your hips, hands to the hara. As you close your eyes, take a moment to notice. Notice how you feel. And as you open your eyes, lift your heels, come onto the tips of your toes. Pressing all toes down to stimulate the energy channels, the meridians for kidney, urinary bladder, liver, spleen. If you can, reach your arms out and up. And as you exhale, bring your arms down, heels down, fold forward, keep your knees slightly bent. Let your head hang. Hold your elbows with opposite hands and gently let your upper body sway from side to side. And then pause here and take your feet wider than your mat. Bend your knees a lot. Imagine you're sending your sits bones way behind you as if you're sitting on a chair that's just out of reach. Hold your elbows, let your head hang. And now keep your upper body still and move your hips from side to side. Really getting into the hip socket. Keep sending your sits bones behind you. And then pause, bring your feet on your mat. Knees are still bent, and same thing. Moving into the hips. Really make sure that your knees are bent a lot. And then pause. Bring your feet close enough so that your right forearm fits between your knees. So the right elbow in the inner right knee and your right hand on the inner left knee. Then lengthen your spine forward so you're bringing your spine parallel to the floor as fast as you can. Now reach your right arm to the side and turn your upper body to the right into a twist. Hug your knees together and resist that with your right forearm. Nice deep breath here. Keep your sits bones pointing right behind you. And as you exhale, lower your hand. Bring your left elbow between your legs. Left hand on the right knee. So you don't have to turn around, of course. I'm just showing you what you're doing. And then lengthen your spine first so it's nice and parallel to the floor. Reach the left arm to the side and twist to your left. Opening your chest. Hug your knees towards one another. Sits bones reaching behind you. Nice deep breath. And one more breath here. Exhale, release your hand. Let your head hang for a moment. And with your feet slightly wider than your hips, bend your knees into a squat. If you have sensitive knees or lower back, feel free to sit on something, a block or a cushion or a folded blanket. And see if you can really let your sits bones drop towards the ground and let them hang. Just nice and proud. Hug your knees into your chest, but resist that with your upper arms. Nice deep breath. Take one more breath here. As you bring your hands behind you, carefully sit down. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart, and just for a moment, reach up forward. Maybe just a little bit, maybe a lot. So you can keep your spine straight and lead with your chest, so keep your chin slightly tucked. And as you inhale, come up with your hands, bring your knees together. Hug your knees in towards your chest for a moment. And then sit down. Close your eyes for a moment. Notice the effect of this little sequence. It may be nice to just stay here and meditate for as long as you like. If you need to go on with your day, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Set an intention for your day. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.